And because this morning I got stuck on TikTok. Wait, was it TikTok? It could have been Facebook Reels. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, I don't even follow a lot of music pop culture. I mean, to an extent, I know a good bit, but I don't really follow it. Anyway, I saw a video of Taylor Swift introducing J-Lo on stage, and now I've got that song stuck in my head. All morning. In the shower, trying to get my kids. Do you know how hard it is to try to get your kids ready for school? And so you're like trying to tell them, like, brush your hair, brush your teeth, take your pills, put on your coats, put on your gloves, etc., etc. And the whole time you've got Jenny from the Block running through your head. Do you know how hard that is? It's so hard. Because like you're trying to sound like mom and your head's going, I'm still Jenny from the Block. Like, it's weird. Good morning. I am feeling better, thank you. Yesterday was I was just not ready for people yesterday. Okay. Nice. Oh, I need so much coffee. Ugh. How much do you want to bet I left all my brushes upstairs? Bet. I've got like 7 brushes in this house, and they are never in the room that I am in. They always seem to be. They're never even on the floor that I am in. Like, if I'm upstairs, they're all down here somewhere. If I'm down here, they're all upstairs somewhere. Like, always. Game of Thrones on drugs. That is not going to work very well, Naomi. You've written nothing this week? Nothing? You've written some amazing comments. You've written out some helpful comments here and on the Discord to help other people. That counts. I feel ridiculous right now. But it's actually kind of working-ish. It's just really not comfortable at all. I do not recommend this. I do not recommend this use of a claw clip. Okay? I am not a beauty guru right now. Right now, all the like beauty YouTubers are flipping through YouTube shorts right now, and they're watching me brush my hair with a claw clip, and they're like, oh. I made a playlist for my book yesterday. Yay! You hate your book again? Oh no! Announcement. Oh my god, yes! Alright. Copy link. Okay, announcement hath been posted. Sorry. I hate when new book ideas come in and I want to work on those, so my brain starts to hate my current whip. Is there a way for that new book to be integrated into your current whip? I mean, that might be one solution, is if you get an idea, there's nothing that says that that idea has to be another book. Is there a way to work it in? Even if it feels like it's a whole different plot, like even if it feels like it's not quite, I bet if you got like sat with it for a minute within the realm of your book, you could be like, how does this idea make this book better? Like maybe I can do that, or maybe instead of rabbits running a heist, it's humans, so that it can fit in this book, or something along those lines. Dana, hey, don't knock it. I've brushed my hair with a claw kit many a time. Yay. Good morning. Good morning, Kat. Haven't been here in ages. Used to be here in every TikTok live, but you know how life goes. This is true. Life goes. I wasn't stalking YouTube. I was reading Ember's book, Bad Naomi. Ideas mafia romance with Dionysus as the main male character. Okay. Want to ask a question? Ask away. I'm now leaning toward traditional publishing my new adult book. Awesome. So Jessica, start building your platform. I had this whole other thing like built out while I was in the shower this morning. I was building out like this whole other thing about why celebrities get book deals and this and that and the other thing. And it all comes down to the platform more than the celebrity. But would they have the platform if they weren't a celebrity type of thing? And I got myself all confuzzled. But yeah, like start working on the platform. And I'm telling you specifically because I know you struggle with marketing. Build the platform. How to make certain scenes longer. So one way to slow down certain scenes, if you really want to make them longer, is to lean in on the, have you heard that advice, show, don't tell? I don't follow that. I always say like show, don't just tell. Like you have to remember to show. So if you need a scene to be longer, that's usually a really good spot to look for areas where you can show things, like bringing in all 5 senses, really working in what people see, not just he was mad, but you know, his jaws clenched and his eyes narrowed and his fists were starting to shake kind of thing. Like it's a much more immersive way of letting people know what's happening by telling them what they see or describing what they see rather than telling them what's happening. Interiority. Yes. And Dana's got it here too. Also add in like internal thoughts, internal struggles. If there's an ethical dilemma that they're running through, have them go through the entire thought process in their mind, because that will also slow down a scene enough to allow the reader to see what's going on inside the character's brain. I have the entire plot in my head. I can't get it out. I have even planned it out on paper to try and shelf it for a while. I don't know what to tell you, Taylor. Getting ideas for videos and such to do. Good. And you don't have to only worry about videos either. Like that's not the only thing that you have to do. Or, I mean, you're not required to only do those. If you don't like doing videos, you can do like guest posts somewhere. Go like hit up Reader's Digest, Writer's Digest, sci-fi magazines, depending on the genre that you're going for. If you can get a pitch published by them, that's platform. I am feeling better. Interiority was the word of the week for my coaching client last week. It's become a meme now. Nice. Not the very specific call out. I needed that because I am so bad at marketing. I've got a few courses for free over Christmas. I think some were for marketing, so that should help me. Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is like with traditional publishers, now what you're going to do, if you've made that decision, and remember, you can change your mind anytime you want, right up until you sign a contract. So if at any point it doesn't feel like that's what you actually want to do, you're not locked in at all, no matter how far down the road you have gone until you're locked into a contract. And even then, there still might be legal ways to getting out of a contract. So, like, don't feel like once you start down that path that you're locked in and it's carved in stone and you can't do anything else, right? But now where your mindset goes is you still have to produce a good story, right? You still want to do your best at writing a story. You want to do your best at showcasing that story in its best light. So you're going to want to make sure that you've gone through and self-edited as much as possible. You do not have to hire an editor. You don't. You do not have to hire an editor. However, if you start finding that you need to, you can, if it will help your chances. But besides just how good the story is, there's a few other things that you have to like pick up on and learn to help your chances. Because remember, traditional publishers, they want money. They're playing a whole different game than you are. So they want to know how much help you're going to be able to give them to sell your book. They want to know how well you know the market. They want to know how much research you've done. So now everything you're doing author-wise comes with one of those two goals in mind. How does this help me understand my market? How does this help me sell books? Type of thing, as well as how does this help me create this experience for the readers? So you're going to have that kind of tugging at you a little bit. It gets easier. I know what I said just sounds complicated and overwhelming. It really does get easier when you ask yourself those questions and go, okay, well, I'm going to put out a poll, and that's going to help me with market research, because the readers who answer the poll, now I've got a little bit to go on that I can put into the proposal, et cetera, et cetera. Hello, Franco. My brain changed a huge part of the plot for the whole series, too. Of course. I need my world to have less ADHD. And can I call you out, Taylor? Of course. Okay, Taylor, I love you. The ADHD is not the problem. And that's not to say that you're the problem. I'm not saying it that way. I don't mean like the ADHD isn't the problem, it's you. I don't mean it that way. But what I mean is you just have not learned yet how to use the ADHD or how to work with the ADHD with what you want to do. You're still trying to find all the little like tips, tricks, hacks, etc. Like, how do I focus in on this? How do I do that? And so on and so forth. And sometimes they work, but not typically with writing for you. And you haven't found the one that is going to work yet. Doesn't mean that you won't. But yeah, you're still fighting the ADHD and then getting mad and saying like, well, that's why I haven't written anything. Well, that's why my books aren't finished. Well, that's why I haven't been able to do the marketing. Well, that's why I've got like a to-do list that's a mile long. You're fighting the ADHD as if it's something that you can conquer, like when you catch a cold. And it's not. It's something you have to learn to like create a synergy with and like go, okay, so the ADHD means my brain works like this. So how do I make that brain work to complete this. Does that make sense? It's the same thing, I'm sure, you have told your children. Oh, crap, I have a newsletter to make. Yes, you do, Dale. I'm going to call you out too. Dale, get on that newsletter. We did not go through all that hassle and all that heartache after you lost your newsletter for you to not write one. Damn it, Taylor, I didn't need a new idea. Alex, well, no, I'm kidding. Sounds like coexisting with a squirrel on Red Bull. But if the squirrel on Red Bull is there, right? If you crawled into their house and there is no getting rid of that squirrel on Red Bull, like there is no way to like catch it in a net and like get it out of the house because you moved in there, then you find ways to work with the squirrel on Red Bull there. Book club in a few minutes, but I'm here. Good morning, Seisha. It's call out Friday. Everyone get in line. I'm from China. Do I like it? I've never been to China. I don't know. I didn't know that was the new theme. I mean, it didn't start off that way, but Floof says hi, and she didn't really call me. No, because there was nothing good that I could have said. What am I going to say? Stop taking on works in progress. Not everyone's idea has to become a part of your list. Like, there's really not much to say. Hello, Ember. You made a post yesterday. Yay! I was not on social media very much yesterday. Why don't you know that China is very good and has everything? I said I've never been. I don't know much about it. Canada came down and said no. Not for 86,000 seconds. It's still so weird that it says that. Just under 24 hours. Yeah. Because what is it supposed to be? It's like 86,400 and something odd seconds in 24 hours. I think 424 seconds or whatever it is. So, yeah. So glad it's Friday and I get to leave work early. I'm so ready for a nap today. I'm so tired. And I can't because I'm so buried. Could you put your butt down? I am presenting at the Abundance Live Coaches Summit. So I'm supposed to it's a virtual summit and we're pre-recording the sessions. So I have an appointment for early next week to call in to record my session. And I've got the presentation, the PowerPoint done, and I've got a bulleted list of certain points that I want to make, but not the presentation itself. And I've been working on, because they were like, what are you going to use for an offer? And I said, I don't know. I have this thing. And they said, well, but that's not really related to the talk, because the talk is on how to write a book. This is for business owners. So the talk itself is on how to write a book that will actually build your email list. and I'm going to talk about how I use the links and the QR codes. But my lead magnet was, a guide on self-publishing, and they were like, that's not really. They're like, it's good, but not for this. Can you make something that is more relevant to this? So I have been like putting all this. Oh, Dana, I have so many ideas for you. Like, so many ideas. Hello, Tyler. I tried to get a schedule with my family to not bug me. My eldest daughter said, we don't bother you while you're sleeping, okay? Wow. Hubby goes to work tonight and tomorrow, but he took vacation next week. Nice. Holly woke me up 6 times last night. I got up at 2 a.m. because that was easier than trying to sleep. Oh my goodness, you must be tired. I'm too busy with Ember's book and Space Indie that I don't have time for a new idea. I won't take it and run with it. It's just interesting and I can see it working. I will not. Hello, Sydney, Australia. How are you? I'll be glad to hear them. Yeah, I got so many. I got too many. I just hit the like button. Why, thank you. Kimmy, good morning, Kimmy. Missy, sorry I'm late. What have I missed? Not much. I called everybody out. Did you have something you want me to call you out for? Like, Missy, when are you going to finish your book? Huh? Sorry. Please don't let me make you feel bad, okay? All I'm hearing, Alex, is that you don't want to help me. And you've done the brain dump, Taylor? If you need someone to take it off your hands, go put it in the Adopt-A-Plot channel on the Discord. Maybe write it down somewhere for when you aren't busy. Yeah, or a quick voice note somewhere. I accomplished nothing yesterday, and that's okay. Were you able to rest? If so, that's an accomplishment. Taylor, I will help you. My brain is all over with this for the family. I have the entire book plot written down. I even put it in that channel. No rest was had. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So it was like a day on a treadmill. Do you think black coffee is worth screwing your taste buds over? Does it screw up your taste buds? I don't know. I drink black coffee. So here's my cat. So so back when I was 19, almost 20, one of the men who were working at this restaurant that I worked at was telling me about Connecticut School of Broadcasting. We worked in Massachusetts at the time, but he was telling me about Connecticut School of Broadcasting. And he wanted to go because he wanted to be a news anchor. And like, this is what that particular school was basically all about. It's a trade school for electronic media. So it does a lot of like radio and television and stuff. And a lot of radio and television people across Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, etc., go through that particular trade school. So I went and I applied. I got a scholarship because they were giving out scholarships. So I got a scholarship, and I did really well. Through the program, I got an internship at NBC. I ended up at a job at CBS, and I was working a bunch of radio stations, right? Well, at my internship at NBC, that's when they were saying, like, I was making my coffee, and at the time, my coffee was like pretty cream colored. Like, I don't know I think I put like 2 creams in. So it was very light compared to the black coffee that I drink now. But anyway, they were saying that women's voices deteriorate faster than men's just through normal wear and tear of the voice. Like the voice box, just as you get older, the voice box tends to age out on women faster than it does on men. And so anything that protects the voice is a good thing. So things like, and I was a smoker at the time too. So things like smoking, things like that would coat the throat and cause coughs, like milk or cream and things along those lines, they were like recommending that you don't drink any of those. I didn't quit smoking. I quit smoking later, but I didn't quit smoking at the time. But I did stop putting cream in my coffee for that reason, because they said that older women have a really hard time getting placements, even in radio, because of the way that their voice goes down. What are your pronouns? I am she, her. Hola. Light and sweet. Yeah, kind of. I mean, not as light as other people drink their coffee, but definitely lighter than what I've got. Can we blame the children for the voice box issues, right? We're always have to deal with the kids. But anyway, so because of that, that's how I got off of using cream in my coffee. So I've been drinking black coffee ever since. I have no idea what it does to the taste buds. Never even thought of it. Do I know some words in Spanish? Some. I took a lot of Spanish classes back in high school. However, high school was a very long time ago, and I don't use it very much now. So I can read it better than I can hear it, if that makes sense. I have to go. Love seeing your bright self today, Naomi. Dana, thank you so much. I promise I will catch up with you today. It's on my calendar to catch up with you today so we can talk about things. Drinking black coffee sounds like a form of torture. Do you dislike people coming to your door without expecting them? And I can't, I hate it when people show up at my door and I don't expect, I hate it. I get so mad too. And I can't do black coffee. Oh, yeah. Talk to you in Spanish? I'm glad both of my kids are learning Spanish, which I'm really glad for. And so it's been a little bit of a refresher when they come home, but of course, they have a very serious, what is our, I don't even know what our accent is, but they have a very serious my accent when they're trying to speak Spanish. So it's not, so sometimes I still don't understand what they're saying. But damn it, I still am not going to like him no matter how much trauma he has. I need 3 to 5 business weeks before you come to my house. I don't have kids, but I yell at other people's kids just to practice a new skill. I had this guy just now, I got scared because trauma still scares me in the same neighborhood. Yeah. Acquired taste just sounds like Stockholm Syndrome. Not yelling at the kids. Are you comfortable and done sticking your butt up? Historically, you have this down and people think that I write dark. I just realized I've been watching from the start instead of skipping to where the video is at now. I've been so confused. Oh no. Oh, because yeah. Oh. Well, it's very nice of you to go back and watch the whole thing while you're here. I do apologize that you are so confused. I'm glad you figured it out. I've done that before on people's live streams. I've been like, there have been times when I started off watching a live stream and then something happened, usually a cat walking across my keyboard or something, and I won't even notice that I went back several minutes somehow. And so all of a sudden they will say something. I'll be like, didn't they already say that? That's really weird. Why are they saying that again? Didn't we already cover this? They must have forgot that they already covered this. Mm-hmm. Trying to figure out how to get MailChimp to let me upload the newsletter I made for pings versus using their template. That I don't know because I haven't used MailChimp in years. I used it a long time ago. And at that time, like the only way to do it would be to like pull up their template and then add your ping images in. Done it on Nick Nimmons. Yes, I think that was the one. It was Daniel Batal that I did that to. I had an idea yesterday. Instead of having a playlist for my book, I'm going to have a pre-book playlist to get you in the headspace to dive in. Nice. I'm a freaking marshmallow compared to Ember. Yeah, that playlist idea is a really good idea. I'm going to start doing my mailing still from TubeSpanner. TubeSpanner. What is that? What's TubeSpanner? Hang on. Y'all read too much dark if you don't know how dark is and you're like, I don't write that dark. You're reading too much dark. Oh, interesting. Nice. I hadn't heard of this yet. $5 a month isn't bad. I like it dark too, but I will write gray. If you're a marshmallow, Alex, then what am I? Freaking angel. Isn't word of mouth great? Yeah, they have been around for a while, but Danielle been doing a lot of changes. No one bugged you. Just put your face back down. I'm removing your fur. Do I listen to music while writing? I do. Actually, I write. Yes. So right now, I have 2 playlists that I use most of the time, unless I'm trying to invoke specific feelings. There's 2 playlists that I bounce between. One is the Series 12 soundtrack for Doctor Who. And the other one is the soundtrack for the Tomorrow War. Both of those, and actually I've been leaning in a little bit more on the Tomorrow War, even than the Doctor Who, like lately. Both of those are like my go-tos. Beyond that, I will listen to music that, like, if I have a particular song associated with one of the books that I'm working on, then I might listen to that particular music to help me get into that book. Or if I'm writing a mood that I'm not feeling for whatever reason, like just, if I'm trying to write something angry, but I'm not feeling angry, then I'll go to like Fight Club or something. I personally had so much potential for writers too. Listening to anime music or songs that remind me of my characters. I don't understand Cinnamon Roll Men in my books if he doesn't want. I don't understand any of those references. I'm not sure what that says about my mental health. All good things, probably. Why is your name Help Me Naomi? Because actually, okay, so my name is Naomi. I'm a ghostwriter. And actually, I'm a huge, like, science fiction person. Always have been. Anyway, I had a client years and years and years ago who didn't realize that every time she would email me and be like, help me, Naomi. And in my brain, it went to, you are my only hope kind of thing. And she didn't even realize that as she was saying it, like, because she never watched Star Wars. So she didn't even realize how it was clicking in my brain until one day when I told her. And then she laughed. And then it turned into, she would always write, help me, Naomi, you are my only hope, into her emails and stuff. And then it just kind of stuck. So I own helpmenaomi.com and I own youaremyonlyhope.com. Feminine rage. All right, I need you to settle. She keeps waking up purring. Meds were upped yesterday and they don't like me. I'm sorry. I hope you feel better. But there is nothing quite so epic than working on a nonfiction book with the soundtrack of the Tomorrow War playing in the background. I'm telling you, everything you write sounds epic. Nice. That's good if it fits in your story. Finally got your sleep schedule fixed. Yay. I sleep to documentaries. I loved your response to using AI ethically. Thank you, Judith. I'm very glad. It seems like it's been helpful to a lot of people. Like there was a comment on there about someone's disability that they described it as a disability and how they were using AI to help them. I don't remember what they called it. But they've been feeling really bad. So I think this is like it was a necessary question because they were feeling really bad because they're seeing all the hate that AI gets from other writers, calling it like all like completely unethical and immoral. And they're like, without it, I can't write, kind of thing. Has to have a fan on and nothing else. That's probably why. See, I have to have something drowning out the voices in my head because all I ever hear, like, so other people see pictures in their head, but I hear all the voices. I don't see all the pictures. And in New Mexico, it really got, after the pregnancy, I should say, which is when we were in New Mexico. But after that pregnancy, like my anxiety skyrocketed. I was always an anxious person anyway, but it skyrocketed to like postpartum dimensions. And I could not sleep in that house if there wasn't something drowning out the noise because my brain would pick up on everything. So like the smallest creak in the floor would send my brain into a tizzy about that's a spider. And then my brain would like make up this whole story about how it knew that that was a spider and how that spider is now laying eggs and I'm going to wake up surrounded by more spiders. Like I could not. So I ended up falling asleep with the TV on because the sound of the TV, it's not very loud. I keep it very, very low. And a lot of times I will even turn the brightness all the way down so you can barely even see it. But I'll put on documentaries because I can't listen to quiet at night because my brain talks. Hello, Russia. Hi. Hear and see the characters. Nope, I can't see them. Is this why I sleep with lullaby or rain sounds? Could be. I don't know. But for me, like the regular, like white noise doesn't work. White noise bothers me. It sounds like Legos being dumped out. I don't like it. I tried brown noise for a while and that was more soothing and it did help better, but it still doesn't quiet out the brain. My brain still talks to me even over that. The same with like nature sounds and all that because it's not talking. It's just background noise. The documentaries actually help because it's people talking. Hello from, oh, I'm going to mess this up. Kyrgyzstan? Hello. Good morning. Well, it's morning here. I suppose it's probably evening by you. How am I doing? I'm doing great. Thank you. I heard gray noise is best for quieting an ADHD brain. It could be, yeah. Makes sense. Certain podcasts chill me out. I feel like not seeing the characters in the movie in the head would make it easier to relax. Not when all you do is hear them. I play brown noise on my TV in my room at night when I want to read or write. Also, if autocorrect doesn't stop correcting gray to gray, I like the E. Yeah, but you are in the United States. You are not allowed to use the British spelling, okay? Do you use a U in color? No. I definitely see my characters in my brain color. I'm in Canada and I'm not allowed to use the E. It isn't fair. Aluminium. I just found out that other people didn't even realize that aluminium was a different word than aluminum. Like all this time, so many people just thought it was a different pronunciation. And they were like, they didn't realize that it was actually spelled differently. Color, sorry, I had to. Taking the E back. I'm in Canada and I'm not allowed to use the E. It isn't fair. Yeah, that's not fair because you use like, and I say you as in people from Canada, not necessarily you specifically, but people in Canada have like this mix. Sometimes they use British, sometimes they use US or American English, like especially like it's wild. They'll use like Celsius for cooking and Fahrenheit for temperature or vice versa. Switch those up all the time. Hi, Shannon. We have an extra I in aluminium. Yeah. Which makes sense. And I get it. My writing programs are US English or French. The A is for passive. Celsius for cooking and temp there. Yeah. You suggested a book called The Funnel Factor. Yes, I have the author's first name, but not the last name. Could I have that, please? Yeah, hang on. Let me get the spelling. Oh, my goodness. It is in this pile. Here it is. Okay. Ugh. Hausmann. Hausmann. Can you see that? Well, it's probably all backwards. We are all over the place because our sibling country is a pain in the butt. We really are. We're the middle child. My family. Thank you. You're welcome. It's the same with height and weight. I'm always like, okay, what's that in feet and stone? They're so loud. After publishing, I am going to find a way to send your book in a chained box with a note that says, do not open. After publishing, I'm going to buy your book. And then I probably may not open it. I don't know. We'll see. I don't particularly like dark reads. It doesn't mean that they're not good, and it doesn't mean I never read them. They're just not my thing. So don't get mad at me. Like, don't come at me and be like, hey, did you read my book yet? What do you think? Because I'm going to be like, I'm sorry, I haven't read it yet. And then I'm going to feel bad. So don't do that. But I'm going to buy it because I'm going to support you. Am I happy to edit dark books? Not particularly. Your mental health matters. Your trigger warning list is long. The one I wrote because of you is out in 12 days. Eee! You are so awesome. Thank you for buying my books. I am so proud of you, Ember. I haven't read your books. So I'm sorry. But I adore this book cover. I haven't read it yet, but I adore this book cover so much. And it's a big book. This is huge. This is why I like to buy all your books, though, even if it's a genre that I don't think I would normally read. First off, you never know, right? The cover is beautiful, right? But first off, you never know. People change, people grow, people have good days, bad days. One day they may not like something, the next day they really might. So, like, there's that. But also, like, I remember when most of you were starting and what most of your struggles were. And, like, I'm seeing, like, Alex at the time, you know, she came back when she was new to the group. And she came back and she was like, I've been trying, you know, I started this book 30 years ago. And, like, now she's got, I don't remember what the number is, like 132 works in progress. She's putting out 4 books a year. Like, I love seeing that, and buying the books reminds me of all this. Like, this is what our group is doing. This is what the impact is that me getting on TikTok once upon a time helped create. Like, I'm not going to say like it's because of me, because it's not. It's because of all of us. But like getting on TikTok and starting that community, like this was the resulting impact, which I think I love. 117. Okay. I couldn't remember. I knew it was a lot. Dark books are with violent. Yeah. That is why I have an Amazon wish list of our books. Dark books have dark scenes, SA, CNC, bullying, some of the darker kinks like asphyxiation. Yeah. It's when you take a theme, let's say romance, and you add the darker side of it. Not something we can say. Not the wood cutting machine. And there's a little bit of a difference between, there's also like a level of what it has to do in the story. So like most stories have some form of, say, violence, right? Or if you have a high school, a story set in a high school, it's really hard to not include some form of bullying at some point. But when you take it to the dark depths, so there's a lot of like internal struggles. You might have characters who like they commit those dark acts. It's not just like a Babysitter's Club type of book where yes, there's bullying, but they manage to resolve it and everyone's friends by the end of the book. And nothing bad happens out of it. You know what I mean? Like it takes it to new levels. Dark books is shades of gray that can turn black. Yeah. There's bullying and mentions of essay. When you are traditionally published, can you be also self-published at the same time? Does it depend on the contract? In the end, always depends on the contract, always. But yes, for the most part, each book, you're going to approach each book as a different opportunity. And so, like, when I talk about choosing self-publishing or traditional publishing or whatever, I always say what's best for the book. Because there are certain books that you're just going to want to get self-published. Particularly, like, if you think that that book has a real shot at being licensed to become a movie or being turned into a screenplay or something along those lines, then it's usually easier to get to that part if you go traditional publishing, because the publishing houses and your agent will have more connections to the screenwriters and the people in Hollywood and etc., the studios and whatnot, to be able to get that part done. So that would be a lot easier, more work up front to get it publish worthy, but a lot easier in that you can do that. But that's a decision that is made per book. It doesn't mean that once you make that decision for one book, that's the same decision for all books. It's just that when you're looking at that book, is it time sensitive? Is it something that you need to get out on a particular time schedule? Like for Alex right now, I would not recommend for Alex to go traditional publishing. Why? Because she wants to get 4 books out per year. Can she do that in traditional publishing? That is not going to be easy. And there's no guarantee that they would do it in the order that she wants to do it. But also, like, they're probably just not going to do that because they're publishing some 70,000 books around her. So they're probably not going to adhere to the fact that she wants to put out 4 books a year. So as long as that's the schedule she wants to hold, that's what I would do. Now, that doesn't mean that one of her books might not do well in traditional publishing and she might change her mind for that one book. In this case, you end up with data. Everything that's out there is data. So remember, traditional publishers, they want to know how well you can help them sell your books. If you've got self-published books out there, that's going to be more data for them. They're going to be able to see how well it sold. And book sales are public. So, like, they're going to be able to actually look at the book sales and be like, oh, okay, yeah, she did this really great, she did this really great thing. Or let's say you get 12 books out there. The first one sold 5 and the second one sold 12 and the next one sold 100. And then the third one sold 150. And then the fourth one sold 210 and so on and so forth. And they can see that it's growing. So even if you never get, say, the 3,000 or 4,000 mark, they can see that it's growing, which means with each one you've learned, which means that gives them okay, so for this next one, they'll probably sell roughly about this many. Like, having those books out gives you information that you can feed to the traditional publishers when you're pitching a book. What you probably can't do, I think it's only happened like twice. But what you probably can't do is don't self-publish a book thinking, if this doesn't work, then I'll try to get it traditionally published. Don't do that, because there is very small chance for a publisher to take on the exact book that you've already self-published. First off, you would already have to have sold like 10,000 copies of it, because you have to prove that that book is a success before they even look at it. And then there's going to be like this whole wait, because they're not going to want to be in competition with you yourself. So you have to like pull it off the shelves and whatnot after having sold that many, pull it off the shelves. And then it's going to be like another 2 years before they put it out. Duwash. Hi. In my more adult novels I'm planning, I don't think it would be a great fit for traditional publishing. Who do I hire to help me make sure all the trigger warnings are listed? Usually, sensitivity reader. Well, it depends on. Usually start with your editor. Start there. Your sensitivity readers, unless they are all related or you find a sensitivity reader who has dealt with all of those, there's a good chance if your list is that long, there's a good possibility you'll need multiple sensitivity readers, one for each trigger. So, or, there might be overlap, but let's say you've got 7 triggers in that book. You might need 7 different sensitivity readers. Or you might be able to get away with 3 if there's some overlap and one sensitivity reader can handle 2 triggers and so on and so forth. But for the most part, you should be able to ask your editor how to handle the actual trigger warnings. Your sensitivity readers can definitely help. But the new adult one, I do feel like it could possibly be made into a movie at some point, which is why I'm leaning more traditional for it. So question, if a song is mentioned in a story, can we use the title of the song and the name? Yeah, if it's just a reference, if you're like, they went home and turned on the radio and started listening to, I don't know, Taylor Swift, and then they started singing the song, yes. If you try to put in the lyrics, no, don't put in the lyrics, but you can mention the song. That's fine. A lot of people say don't do that because it dates your material. You're like, now, no matter if it's a book that's supposed to be timeless, that's supposed to like always relate to, let's say, for example, let's say you're writing a young adult book, right? That young adult book should be for ages 16 to like 19, somewhere in there, right? And depending on the genre that you go for young adult, it should work and be relatable to people today who are 16 to 19 years old. And in 30 years, it should be able to relate to people then who are between 16 and 19 years old, right? However, again, this all depends on the genre. There are reasons to do it, reasons not to do it. If you write a YA book that is geared at 16 to 19-year-olds today and you reference Taylor Swift, then in 30 years, the 16 and 19-year-olds who read it and see the reference to Taylor Swift will immediately be removed from the story. That's the logical process of there. So if it's a story that doesn't matter, if you're wanting the story to be timeless and to always target the same people, then I wouldn't reference it because that dates the book. If it's something that would otherwise still be relatable in 30 or 100 years, don't make the reference because that's what kills it. But if it doesn't matter, and if you're like, no, this is a period piece, but I want people to know what life is like now, or something along those lines, then go ahead and reference it. Have I read the fanfic? No, I haven't. Might need some feedback about trigger warnings later too, because therapy is teaching me that some things I thought are normal are not, so I haven't actually been categorizing these events as traumatic. Oh my God. Kimmy, you have no idea. Like, it's one of the reasons why things like they have, for the most part, the list of potential triggers is like focused in on 7 things. There are more, and you can never really know what's going to trigger someone. Like someone else might just have a traumatic experience with something that no one could have foreseen. And that's why like the 7 are the big ones. And then beyond those 7, it's a matter of degree and what it does to the character as to whether or not there should be some kind of a warning. Because, yeah, and the really hard part with that specifically too, Kimmy, is like when I was at my internship for therapy, right? working as a therapist, there were so many times that someone would tell me something and then I would have to go to my supervisor because I would be like, this sounds traumatic to me, but they don't seem to think that it's traumatic. And then it became a whole like tiptoeing dance session, because how ethical is it to convince someone that they went through trauma if they didn't see it as being traumatic? You know what I mean? And like now you're trying to tell them, no, that was traumatic. No, that was, that was trauma type of thing. Like it becomes a whole new dance that I had to bring in my supervisors for when stuff like that happened. Because sometimes, yeah, people just think it's normal and they don't see that it was anything traumatic because it's not one of the big 7. Okay. Ember's whipping boy almost triggered me. I have someone to talk about it on standby. How do you see it as trauma if that's all you know? Well, but it's also, right. But like, I'm also talking about, it's not even one of the big 7. So like, if it had been, so like in talking about it to these people, they're like, well, it's not like XYZ, like they expect trauma is only of the 7. So it wasn't something in that either. Some of us also read dark to help with our trauma. Some people do. See, each their own. All right, y'all, I have to run. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It's Friday. Go nap. Go take care of yourself. Go get all the words written. Get ready for the weekend. But especially take care of yourself. All right? Have an amazing weekend. Monday. I don't know if I'll be live on Monday because there's a lot of stuff happening here right now. And I've got like appointments, but I think some of my appointments I have to reschedule because of stuff. So I'm not entirely sure if I'll be here Monday or not, but if I am, I will share the link. Okay? Bye.